Each week we look ahead to each one of our games, and we're going to give you guys an in-depth look at the upcoming opponent for the week. This week, Travis Kelce and the Chiefs started out with the Detroit Lions. They are the opening game for the entire NFL season. Apparently that's titled the kickoff game. Did not know that. But it's on Thursday night. So let's start there.
You've played in a kickoff game.
Well, they all start with a kickoff.
And it's Travis Kelce. Don't get my name wrong. Yeah, they're always on Thursday night too.
I knew it was a Thursday night game. But I oddly enough, it's not on Amazon. It's the first Thursday night is NBC.
Yep.
Then the rest of them are Amazon Prime. Lions ended the season going 8-2 after a 1-6 start. So they ended hot.
They were on fire.
Yeah. What are you guys looking forward to in this matchup? Have you guys already started game planning? I already know the answer. I guess when this comes out, it'll probably be Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
So that'll be the day before the game. Yeah. What are you guys looking forward to against the Lions? What are you trying to be prepared for?
Dan Campbell's got that team fired up as always, man. I tell you what, man. When I was coming out of the draft, I had the luxury of going down and doing the pre-draft meeting with the Miami Dolphins. So I went down to Miami and got to meet everybody.
See the tight ends coach at the time?
Yeah, and he was a tight ends coach, man. And I remember leaving that room and being like, man, I would love to play for that guy, man. He just seems like a cool guy to play for, somebody that really gets the best out of everybody and enjoys what he does coming into work every single day. And sure enough, I get drafted in Kansas City. A guy, Anthony Fasano, who's with the Chiefs at the time at tight end, who taught me everything that I needed to know on how to be a professional, just gave that whole mindset a thumbs up and said that Dan Campbell's just the absolute best because he played for him in Miami and said he was one of his favorite coaches ever. It's cool to see where he was, growing up, watching him in Detroit playing, to meeting him in Miami as a tight ends coach, and to seeing him go and be a head coach now, man. It's cool to see. And it's cool to see how the players react to him as a whole, because he's definitely got all those guys over there biting kneecaps and playing their tail off, man.
For sure. It's been fun watching
turn on
the
that
Detroit
film,
Lions
man. That is a
evolve.
tough son of a group. Yeah.
We
they really
played
embody that city of Detroit. It's cold in the D.
The two previous seasons since Dan has been there, and we've seen him get better each time we played him. We played him early last year too. And now they finished about just as hot as any team in the NFL. So the expectations are as high as they've been in a long time up in Detroit. They made a lot of offseason acquisitions. They've gotten better across the board. So I think everybody's expecting big things from the Lions this year. Back to the kickoff game. This kickoff game is obviously the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl banner game. We've both participated in banner games. Is there anything extra that goes into a banner game? Like, what do you think about banner games?
My banner game was during COVID, so there really wasn't anything.
There's nobody there.
Yeah. I mean, it was up there. The banner's up there. But I don't really remember everything from that game.
I gotta say, our banner game was not during COVID, and I don't really remember the banner game, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's more probably for the fans.
Pretty focused on the Detroit Lions, not really.
It is cool to look up at that thing every once in a while, like, hey, that's up there.
Yeah, that's what floats your boat.
What has Andy's messaging been for the team to not have the Super Bowl hangover, slow start that everybody kind of talks about?
We're not even thinking about last year in the Super Bowl. Everything's so forward driven in the building, and it always has been like that. Not even thinking about last year. Everybody's already got the mentality that we got to keep getting better every single day, and that'll be the mentality all the way through the season. And you have to keep building this thing as the season goes, and with all the new pieces and all the young guys that we have, knowing that we played in the Super Bowl last year is with a lot of young guys. We're going to have some games where we got to learn some things, and hopefully that doesn't get in the way of winning them, because obviously that's the end goal in every game you play. You
guys did have a young roster, especially on the defensive side. I mean, a lot of young players.
Offense too, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the skill positions for sure.
Yeah, even more so this year.
Are you looking forward to kickoff or seeing Andy Reid's first 15 more? What are you more excited for?
Oh, man, Andy Big Red's first 15 always fires me up, man. Oh, God, he puts the first 15 together with me in that thing. All of a sudden, I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. Dude, I get excited. When I see the openers,
I visualize like 10 different ways every play could go, and it never plays out how I visualize it in my head.
Right. And they're not in that defense. Okay, let's get into something else.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that one. Get at the playoff instincts now. I love just the beginning of the season, man. It's just there's something about getting football, the season back rolling, and I always have a bunch of family and friends in town for the first game, and it's always kind of like I don't want to say a holiday, but it really jumps off in the city. Today, or I don't want to say today, but first Fridays, Red Fridays, the entire city in Kansas City just turns red. Everybody wears red. All the fountains in the city all have red water coming out of them.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, Red Fridays, baby. Before
they
every
make
single,
the water red?
Yeah. Yep, they dye the water.
What does that do to the fish?
They don't do it in fish or water with fish in them.
Oh.
It's just the fountains.
Oh, fountains.
Yeah, just the fountains. So Red Friday's jumping off. Got Chiefs Kingdom fired up. There's a lot of electricity in the air, not only just in our city, but around the United States with football starting back up. And what better way to start off against the Detroit Lions? It's going to be, I mean, obviously you like to say every game means the most, but there's nothing bigger than coming out and winning that first game and just setting the tone, setting the tempo. We're going to have to come out flying and really do that against the Detroit Lions, because you let a team like that's a tough team, kind of dictate the tempo of things and come out and jump on you with some momentum, man. It's going to be a long day for you.
Yeah, well, and they're also really good at running the ball. So if they can get a lead, they're going to continue to be able to do that. But you talked about this a little bit, how much he fits in with that Detroit City, Motor City freaking just attitude and grit and blue collar and
just the toughness of that city. Yeah,
I don't know. Is he first of all? I guess is he the most likable coach? And then also, do you think any other team embodies their coach more than what Detroit Lions do with Dan Campbell?
Well, obviously taking out Coach Reed, because I think we embody everything that Coach Reed is.
I mean, you got a mustache right now all over your friggin' face. That's embodying right there. Look at that. All you need is a Hawaiian shirt and a cheeseburger and
just some little reading glasses. I'll give that to Coach Campbell. I'll give it to him. I think they definitely rally around him, and he's a likable guy. He's very well respected among players throughout the league, and you tend to get that with guys that have been players. That's what you want. You want to be able to have a coach that can lead the charge and be out front, and somebody that you can kind of take from, and you want that tough guy out front with the discipline and the ability to kind of get that respect or gain that respect for all the grown men in that building. Because it's a hard thing to gain respect from everybody, let alone when it's a bunch of old guys.
Yeah, you want the team to embody the head coach's mindset. That means the head coach is doing a great job of being a leader, that the culture is being set. Obviously Dan is doing a tremendous job because Detroit is doing that. But you go down the list. I mean, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick. I mean, those teams have always been tough, smart.
Forgot about Bill. Yeah.
The Patriot way. You know what I mean? I think that Pete Carroll, you think about his energy and the energy that the Seattle Seahawks had, especially when they had all the horses on defense, just freaking locking people down. Which is somehow, I feel like that's resurfaced recently again with some of these guys.
Eagles at Patriots. The Eagles will open the season by traveling to Gillette Stadium to celebrate Tom Brady Day.
Hey!
With the Patriots. That's right. It's a banner day for you as well. They're throwing up the old Tom Brady banner.
I guess you're right.
Only a couple months after he retired. We've seen quarterbacks before come back even after retiring 2-3 times. A la Brett Favre came back, I think, 3 times.
It was a lot.
My first question is, has there ever been a player that's played in the NFL that has a banner in someone's stadium?
Great question.
Like if he unretires, do they take it down for the rest of the year?
I don't think you can take it down. Once it's up there, it's up there.
It's up, right? You can't.
Yeah.
It's not easy getting up there. Will it be weird seeing Ezekiel Elliott in a Patriots uniform?
Yeah, that is going to be weird.
Right?
After playing him so much in Dallas. I feel like it's always weird when somebody's been someplace for such a long time and like been like a focal point of that franchise and then going someplace else. But
yeah,
like it was weird when Tom first played with the Bucks. I mean, it became not weird after they got good, and you kind of get used to it.
Yeah,
it's probably like when Montana went to Kansas City, right? Like, that's probably weird.
Yeah. No,
Did you go
I'm
to
right
Kansas
there with
City?
you.
You did go to Kansas City, right?
That's pretty good. I'm surprised you even knew that. Who was the one growing up that you saw and was like, that doesn't look right?
When Mike Webster went to Kansas City.
You got to be fucking with me. Who the fuck is Mike Webster?
I'm fucking with you.
I'm
For some reason, I
what?
was thinking of other guys that like had like swan song seasons in Kansas City, and I all of a sudden remembered that Mike Webster went to Kansas City for like 3 years.
Who's Mike Webster?
Who's Mike Webster is like the most decorated center of all time. Played for the Pittsburgh Steelers during the Steel Curtain era. Won 4 Super Bowls.
All right. I didn't even know he was a real person.
Yeah, I think if I'm answering honestly, the biggest weird one was, I don't know, Brett Favre. I thought it was weird when Randy Moss went to the Patriots the first time around after being so long in Minnesota.
I thought it was weird when he went to Oakland.
I don't even remember him going to Oakland.
When he went to the Patriots, I thought it was cool.
Who else changed teams?
Terrell Owens in a Bills uniform fucked me up too.
I forgot all about that one too. I knew about the Eagles and Cowboys.
Oh, you know what was really awkward for me was watching Deion Sanders. I forget what number he wore in Baltimore, but it was like a 30s number. It wasn't even like 21. That always fucked me up.
In Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore Ravens.
Man,
he came out of retirement.
Gotcha.
He was number 37, probably because he was 37 years old. I'm just fucking throwing that together.
Cowboy player that is an obvious one that was weird was when Emmitt Smith went to the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was weird. What was a weird one for Cleveland, though? Who did we got somebody that was...
I mean, the weird one for Cleveland was when our entire fucking organization went to Baltimore. That was what was weird for Cleveland. Hey, what iconic player did you lose? Everyone!
Everybody!
Then they were all just wearing Baltimore jerseys like that was normal.
You ain't lying, man.
Yeah, that was the weird one for us.
That's when you became a Steelers fan.
I did for 3 years because I love Jerome Bettis.
Those were the games we were getting on TV, man. You force feed me the bus, I'm gonna fucking get excited and watch the bus. I'm gonna get fired up and cheer for him.
Cordell Stewart action. Who knows what happened in that park?
Oh, and we got some Barry Sanders, Detroit. We got some Barry Sanders games. I remember that. I was a big Favre guy because but they were playing on all the primetime games back in the 90s.
Yeah, you did like Green Bay.
Had a Favre jersey and Terrell Davis.
TD. Nice.
Yeah, are the Patriots and Eagles a rivalry? I mean, you guys did beat them in Super Bowl, what is it, about 5 years ago? Yeah,
we won in 2017. They won when Andy was still in Philadelphia. Is it a rivalry? I don't know. There's definitely a history to the Eagles and Pats. The Super Bowl was part of that. And, last time we played, they got the better of us at home in a low-scoring game. We talked about that with Julian a little bit.
I think it's just that East Coast cities just don't like each other.
Jeffrey Lurie is from the Boston area, so I think there's a little bit of a
hometown rival there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's a little bit, there's enough connecting the two teams that I do think there's a little bit extra to people in the organization.
Have you noticed New York, Boston, and Philadelphia all kind of just hate each other?
I have not noticed that. New York definitely hates everybody hates Philadelphia. I mean, that's kind of just standard. I don't think Philadelphia hates Boston.
Do you think Philadelphia hates New York?
Yes, but I think it's reciprocated. But I don't even know that they hate New York.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
They're a really well-coached team. They have a great, obviously, head coach in Bill Belichick. And they're just well-coached on defense, man. They got a lot of these guys that are kind of tweeners, right? They're in between defensive end, outside linebackers, inside backers, obviously everybody talks about Judon, but across the board, they got great linebackers on that team. They got great D linemen. Their front seven.
They've always been notorious at having great linebackers.
Is built for a reason, the way they build them. I mean, they can get into any front. Every game plan is going to be super specific to that team.
They can all rush
hard
the passer.
It's also just hard to develop your offensive game plan. It's like, what are they really going to do to us? How are they going to treat us different than they've treated the last 10 opponents they've played? They're going to do something always new, depending on what that offense does. So
yeah, I was just about to ask you that. We both played Belichick a few times in our careers. Do you think that coaches prepare differently when they go up against, is the game plan just a little bit more? You know what I mean? There's more to it. There's a little bit more juice to the game plan when you guys play Belichick, or is a little bit more complicated?
Are you talking about us playing the Patriots or the Patriots?
Coaches, and
game planning
against the Patriots.
So obviously, you got to be ready for more stuff. But sometimes, I think it kind of depends. I think like you can try and game plan all these super specific things for every other look that you're going to get and everything that Bill could possibly throw at you. But then it's going to be such a complex game plan for yourselves that the chance that it's going to be something that you can execute on a high level against what he ends up having on the field is a little bit less. Then you can also keep it super simple so that you're ready to attack any defense that they trot out there and put you up against. But then you're kind of, you're going to be so simple that it's going to be easy to tell what you're getting to each and every play. So I think you're always kind of trotting in this middle ground in general. And I think against Bill, you gotta be prepared for everything. You got to make sure you understand all the different looks that he could be throwing at you, all the different personnel that he could put out on the field. And, you got to be ready in the game to continue to make adjustments as he's adjusting. And I think that, there's nobody that's better in-game adjustments than Bill Belichick. So, the game is going to happen differently from the first half to the second half. So, all these things you just kind of go into the game knowing, and you go into it with the plays that you think are going to be effective and successful on that day. And, see how it goes.
All right. Now, is it any less fun to start the season with an away game?
Man, starting with a home game is awesome. It is cool to start off at home.
Just the
first game of the year.
The juice is in the city, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think everybody in the NFL is just excited to get playing actual games. You just got done talking about it, but we've been through the whole offseason at this point. We've been all through training camp, all the preseason games, joint practices, all that stuff, and now we finally get to see what this thing looks like. We've all these new plays we've designed and all these new schemes. We're all excited to run them. In the first 2 to 3 weeks, it's always kind of interesting to see what happens because defenses are always changing, offenses are always changing.
It's a new season.
What are teams going to be doing different? It's going to be fun to see what everybody's trotting out there and what the new flavors are going to be across the league. Who gets off to a good start. And for the most part, man, I just know I'm just going to try and go into the game as ready to make adjustments as possible because I know Bill's going to have something dialed up for them boys.
Adjustments is the name of the game against the Pats, baby.
Yeah.
Well, right on, dog. Good luck to you guys against the Pats. I'll take all the luck I can get against the Lions.